I want to talk about my favorite line in the Star Wars franchise. It's from A New Hope.
He didn't hold with your father's ideals, thought he should have stayed here and not gotten involved.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
Now, when this line was first spoken in 1977, there were no prequels. There was no Clone Wars TV show, no books, no video games. No explanation of what the Clone Wars were. Luke just says it, like it doesn't need an explanation. Everyone knows about the Clone Wars. This line is great because it helps transport you to a new world. Hi, I'm Tim. I write for television, talk to a camera sometimes. Today, I'm talking about setting. How do stories get a sense of place? How does a storyteller transport you to a new world? Sure, visual design can do a lot of the heavy lifting, but I think there are ways that a storyteller can transport you with just the words that their characters say. Now, let's go back to A New Hope.
You fought in the Clone Wars?
This line is fantastic because it provides the two key components that can transport an audience to a new world: specificity and ambiguity. Those may seem like opposites, but I promise you they aren't. Luke doesn't say you fought in the Great War, he says you fought in the Clone Wars. The line is specific. It provides the audience with a specific named event that they know nothing about. It's also ambiguous. What was the Clone War? Who fought in it? Whose side did they fight on? We get some hints. Obi-Wan says that Luke's father was a great pilot, so were these clones flying ships? Neither Obi-Wan nor Luke explain to the audience what they're talking about. This line is not providing exposition. It's providing a kind of flavor, a feeling of depth and richness, a piece of world lore that invites the audience to ask questions. And most importantly, it provides no answers. I want to be clear, I'm not talking about world building. World building is about constructing cohesive rules to your made-up universe. Good world building can sometimes lead to good setting work, but it's not necessary. Lord of the Rings is filled with cool lines, like in this one scene where Aragorn explains these statues to the hobbits.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old. My kin.
And while Tolkien for sure knew what that line meant, you don't have to read the appendix for that line to be effective. The line is transportative because it is specific and it invites questions without providing answers. But world building isn't always necessary. George Lucas had no idea what he was talking about when he had Han Solo say,
"It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs."
But it doesn't matter. The line helps build a sense of place, a feeling that you aren't in your world anymore. You are somewhere new, full of strange secrets and infinite possibilities. In my last movie, I spent a lot of time ragging on Harry Potter, so today I'm going to flip the coin over and talk about how that movie really nails a sense of setting. In this scene, Harry Potter opens a trading card and gets Dumbledore, and we get this exchange.
I got about 6 of him. Hey, he's gone. Well, you can't expect him to run around all day, can you?
The scene, it's got the two necessary components. It's specific, but its ambiguity invites questions. Why can't he hang around? Is the card alive? Does it have other things to do? Is there a card pocket dimension and card Dumbledore is out there wandering from window to window, trapped in a Sisyphusian hell? The questions are endless, and most importantly, unanswered within the text. Harry Potter is filled with these kinds of details, and I think that it's moments like this that made Harry Potter so popular, despite how heinous its creator is. They invite wonder, and they do this despite the fact that the Harry Potter universe has some dog shit world building. I mean, why have a trial when you can read people's minds? Why give a time travel device to a 13-year-old girl so she can go to more classes? We all know. We all know it's dumb. We all know this. One of the most common and effective ways to transport audiences to a new world is through fake languages. The more realistic your language is with its own specific, there's that word again, specific grammar and phonetics, the more effective the language is going to be at creating a sense of setting. Bonus points if the new language is never translated. Klingon, Elven, Dothraki, whatever Greedo is saying. Fiction is filled with fake languages. But my favorite made-up language is from The Expanse. A lot of stories come up with languages from scratch, but The Expanse does something more interesting. The show is trying to make a more realistic sci-fi, so its made-up language is rooted in languages we currently speak. The result is Belter Creole.
Stay calm. Unte golten gonje gut. Dopo čujke.
Stay calm.
Hands big. And when you talk in and before is we.
Belter melds English with Spanish and a dozen other languages. It also includes use of gesture and sign. Belter Creole is never translated, but it gets easier to understand the more you watch. This narrative tool serves double duty. It transports the audience to a new world, but then, over the course of the series, it invites the audience in as they start to make sense of Belter slang. What starts out alien eventually becomes familiar and comforting. The show goes on to establish new Creole dialects for different Belter subcultures and code switching. And this isn't just thrilling to language nerds, it serves a real narrative function. Each new aspect of the language that we discover continually gives the universe more depth. Seeing a science fiction or fantasy world with its own rules that are very specific, but with origins unknown and unknowable, will always help the audience feel the world is deeper than what is presented on the screen. These unanswered and unknown components are often what spawn fan fiction and parody and discourse. You show me a media with a rabid fandom, and I'll show you great setting work. I like to think of these tools for transporting audience like a well. You look down at the water, and you know there is depth. You wonder how deep it goes. You drop a coin, but you never see it land. It's too dark at the bottom. But lately, I've noticed a disturbing trend. The current stewards of these transportative worlds are draining the well dry. Let's go back to Luke's line in A New Hope, and all the questions that line brought up. Well, now we have the answers. We've seen the Clone Wars. We know who the clones were and why Obi-Wan and Luke's dad fought beside them. The questions are gone. The invitation to imagine what the Clone Wars might have been has been replaced by content. Maybe the new content is good, but when you go back to the old well, you may find that it's shallower than you remembered. There's less unanswered questions. The magic is gone. And as each IP sprawls out, circling back, continually shading in the ambiguity, you may find yourself surrounded by wells. But drop a coin in any of them and you'll hear it clink on the dry stone at the bottom. No mystery, no need for active engagement. No need for imagination at all. So yeah, write something in the comments. It helps with engagement, that's why. Bye.